Hey, so what is the role of a manager in organizations? What is the role of management in our organizations? How are we as managers contributing to value creation in our respective organizations? In this video, we'll take a look at some of these fundamental theories on the role of manager and management in organizations. We provide an overview on the roles. We look at several components as explaining why managers are important to organizations. We describe the functions, roles, and skills of managers. Develop your skills as a manager at being politically aware of your environment and the organization. Describe the factors that are reshaping and redefining the manager's job and explain the value of studying management. So first we ask, what is the role? First of all, we ask, who's manager? And we find a manager is someone who coordinates and oversees the work of other people so that organizational goals can be accomplished. Quite basic. That's the role, in essence, of a manager. Someone who coordinates and oversees the work of others so that the intent of the organization can be achieved. Go back here a couple of slides. What are the levels of management within organizations? We have the individual contributors, first line managers, middle managers, and of course the top leaders, managers within the organizations. Let's classify some of these groups of managers here. First line managers, the role is to manage the work of non-managerial employees. Middle managers, self-explanatory, manage work of first line managers, and then the top managers responsible for some of the most tactical decision making within the organization and be able to establish organization strategies, goals that affect the entire organization. Where do managers work? Well, we define an organization as a deliberate arrangement of people to accomplish some specific purpose. So regardless of where you work, there is some specific purpose that's typically defined as the mission of the organization. What are some of the characteristics of organization? Like I said, we have a distinct purpose, we have a deliberate structure, and we have people. Why are managers so important in organizations? Organizations, we need our managerial skills and abilities now more than ever, especially with the hyper competitive environments that we are in. Managers are critical to getting tasks accomplished, and in the end, managers are critical to the success of organizations. So what really do managers do? We define management and process to explain management involves coordinating and overseeing the work activities of others so that their activities are completed efficiently and effectively. And note those two words there, efficiently and effectively. Efficiently, we are looking at, hey, what are we taking to do this task and what are we getting out of it? Effectively, are we achieving the intended outcomes? So again, let's define that. Doing things right, getting the most output from the least amount of input, so that whole ratio of input to output. And then effectiveness, doing the right things, and again, at bottom line would be attaining organizational goals. So in looking at efficiency and effectiveness in management, efficiency means resource usage. Effectiveness means goal attainment. So low waste, high attainment. You look at some, for example, GE, General Electric, they have the Six Sigma initiative, Toyota, Motorola. Many of these places have these initiatives, 3M. in the end, what we're striving for as management team is low resource waste. Again, that is high efficiency and high goal attainment. That's the high effectiveness. We've all grown up, those of us who study management, understanding the core management functions. One, planning. Two, organizing. Three, lending. And four, controlling. Leading should be. Planning, defining goals, establishing strategies to achieve goals, and organizing, arranging, and structuring work to accomplish goals. Leading, working with and through people to accomplish goals. And then four, monitoring, comparing, and correcting work. So planning, we are setting goals, establishing strategies, developing plans to coordinate activities. Organizing, what do we have? We are pulling things together, determining what needs to be done, in what sequence, what will we need. Leading is about motivating and leading, and any actions involved in dealing with people. So inspiring, attracting, retaining, motivating our employees. Controlling, is where we're monitoring activities to ensure that they are accomplished as planned. And of course, we're hoping leading to achieving the organization's stated purpose. Mintzberg, one of the pioneers in contemporary management, Mintzberg created what was described as 10 managerial roles and specific actions or behaviors expected of and exhibited by managers. They are grouped around interpersonal relationship, transfer information, and then decision making. So let's look at these here. Types of roles, again, based on Mintzberg's model. Interpersonal, a figurehead, leader, liaison. Informational, we're looking at monitoring, disseminator, spokesperson. And decisional, being an entrepreneur, disturbance handler, resource allocator, negotiator. So let's look, any of us can look at our role as a manager in an organization and then integrating Mintzberg's 10 characteristics of an effective manager, of a manager. And we'll see some level of combination of these 10 attributes here. In a graphical format, that's nicely put together in this chart. So again, it's combined into three different roles: the interpersonal role, the informational role, and then the decisional role. What are some skills that we're supposed to have as a manager? Technical skills. This is about knowledge and proficiency in a specific field. Then we have human skills. That is the ability to work well with other people. And then third, conceptual skills. That is the ability to think and conceptualize about abstract and complex situations concerning the organization. Now, looking at these three, what are we good at? How are we promoting individuals in organizations? Do they have these skills, and to what level in each of these groups here? Typically, what we're finding is that managers being promoted into leadership roles have the technical skills, but quite frequently we are missing that whole conceptual skills and the human skills in which to pull all of these together. So again, it's something to think about, and one factor to ensure that we are covering. How are these skill sets varying as far as the need at different levels within the managerial chart in organizations? And here you see the top managers, we need more of a conceptual skills. The technical skills might not always be there, but we know we have managers within organizations, within an organization who have that technical competencies that we can go to in order to achieve what we're trying to do. But as we grow in the organization, we'll need much more of that conceptual skill set. Let's identify some of these important managerial skills. One, and critical, Right up front, I'll mention it. Managing human capital. That's managing people within an organization. Second, inspiring commitment. How do we gain that commitment from our employees? Managing change, structuring work and getting things done, facilitating the psychological and social context of work, understanding people. We're talking about, and when we look at organization behavior, uh, ability to understand, predict, and influence behaviors in organization, using purposeful networking, managing decision-making processes, and managing strategy and innovation, and then the logistics involved. Always a need to focus on the customer. Without customer, most organizations would cease to exist. We probably all cease to exist without customers, unless we're filthy rich. Managing customer relationship is responsibility for all managers and employees, and we need to be consistent and provide high quality service uh, every time. As managers, we have to focus on technology also. We have to get employees on board with new technology. We have to oversee the social interactions and challenges involved in using collaborative technologies. And then social media, huge. I mean, all of us are using social media from LinkedIn to Facebook and I'm drawing blank on them. All of the different sources of social media. Twitter, that's what I was trying to remember. Of course, many uh, uh, other ones available also. Innovation, exploring new territory, taking risk, and doing things differently. Then focusing on sustainability. What is sustainability? That's a company's ability to achieve its business goals and increase long-term shareholder value by integrating economic, environmental, and social opportunities into its business strategies. So we can create competitive advantages, but is it sustainable? We also have to focus on an employee. Treating employees well is not only the right thing to do, but it's also good business. Couldn't explain it. The term that hits right home. It's a necessity. Regardless of where we work, where we're located, there's a universal need for management. All sizes of organization, all organizational types, from not-profit, not-for-profit, and regardless of the level we're at within an organization. Some of you might be beginning your career in management. When you begin your career, you will either manage or be managed. What are some challenges of being a manager? It can be a thankless job sometimes. May entail clerical type duties sometimes. Again, it's at starting. Managers often have to deal with a variety of personalities and have to do with limited resources. It could be challenging, right? But in the end, we learn to do this over time. What are some rewards of being a manager? We are responsible for creating a productive work environment, recognition and status in your organization, and within the community. And there could be attractive rewards also. There are some rewards and challenges of being a manager. You can go through the slide here. Challenges, it's hard work sometimes. You have to deal with all the personalities again. But you work with a variety of people. You have the support, you have you're influencing organizational outcomes and you're advancing the common good. And then tell who managers are and where they work. Managers coordinate and oversee the work of others. People do. Managers work in an organization in a deliberate attempt to uh, achieve organizational outcomes. We group people together, we coordinate the work, and then we align all of those human capital, the resources within organizations to ensure that we are achieving the purpose intended. So in this little video, brief video, we intended to provide an overview of the role of managers. Critically, we have to understand what are the trends impacting organizations today. in a global economy, and that could be from technology, from the changing nature of our workforce, ethical issues, and this is the hyper competitive environment in which we are operating in. How do we adapt our strategies, our competencies in order to capitalize on the trends and opportunities available given the nature of competition today? As managers, we have to remain agile, meaning, we talk about organizational agility. What is organizational agility? It is when we can quickly adapt to the an external environment, even an internal environment. And similarly, as a manager, we have to maintain that level of individual managerial adaptability and agility, where we are adapting our style, our preferred method of managing and leading in organizations in order to, again, manage the human capital, the resources, the personalities, all of those, and to achieve the outcomes of the organization. So remember Mintzberg's 10 roles of a manager, the four functions of manager in an organization, and integrate all of those to successfully lead your teams and the workforce to achieve the outcomes of your organization.